Hello, welcome to my home. Uh, why don't we go back and sit back in the video room and have a chit chat? It's been a while. Well, welcome to the video room. This is in the very back part of the house. I have a screen that's behind you, and then I have a projector, so sometimes my friends and family will come over, and it's just a nice room to just get away. Close the door, watch videos, nice, quiet, dark, get rid of all the stress and anxiety and uh, politics and opinions, and it's a good place to be. uh, it's been a while, and I just wanted everybody to know that, as you see, I'm doing okay. Uh, I have, over the past year, I've done some small videos, but nothing really big. And there's several reasons for that. One, my health. It's hasn't been great. It's getting better. Sometimes you have to make decisions for yourself and not necessarily listen to everybody else's decision. I'm working on it, and as you can see, I'm improving. I did have to go through another treatment and other situations besides that, but again, I'm doing good, and I appreciate the everybody reaching out. Uh, the other thing I am wanting to let everyone know is that I'm going to maybe change this channel. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. There's I, like everybody else, have watched YouTube videos, and sometimes over the past year, I've seen where people have just disappeared or they quit making videos. And I've reached out to them and I've said, hey, is everything okay? Just like you guys have done to me. And some of the comments from some of them have been that it's really not worth doing YouTube videos and letting your guard down or always having to be on guard and losing your privacy. And not to say who it is or what the situation is, it's just I get that. And they said that they enjoy it, and I do too. I enjoy making YouTube videos. I really do. I thought that would give me something to do. I could share with all of you out there in YouTube land. I think some of them call it. But I too, I agree with others that it's really not worth giving up your privacy. A couple months back, we had a situation, and there was a vehicle, and we have cars that drive by here really slowly. They want to look, they enjoy seeing the property, and they know, and this one weekend, my neighbor and his wife were out with the kids, and he was getting ready to run into town, and they were out playing with the kids in the yard. I was here in the house. I didn't see anything. But there was a car that came very slowly down the road by the property, and that's not unusual, but yet it was, because they were going a little bit slower than what most people normally do when they drive by the property. So my neighbor told his wife, he said, yeah, it's okay, I'm going to go to town. So he left and actually got behind this vehicle that was going on down the road. And they turned into my relative's drive. He went right on down towards town. I thought it was a little strange, but well, they backed up and started heading back up this way. So he made it to the end of the road and he called his wife. And long story short, they came in the east side or the west drive and went around and went out the east drive like 3 different times. And then they came back in and they stopped, whoever it is. We know the vehicle, we just don't know who this is. We've never seen the vehicle. Nobody here on the property has a vehicle like that. So anyway, they stopped over on the west side of the drive, and the guy got out, and he had his hands up in the air, walking towards my neighbor's wife, and she grabbed the kids. He was saying something about a cult, and he's trying to get away or something. I don't know exactly everything. So my neighbors turned around up there and headed back because his wife had called him and said, "Hey, we're inside. This guy's out here in the yard. He's walking around, and he's got his hands up in the air." And so when my neighbor got back here to the house, to the property, the guy was actually laying on the bench, and my neighbor had said, "Hey, what are you doing? Can I help you? This is private property. You need to leave." And the guy was very nice about it. He just said, "Well, I just want to lay here." And my neighbor said, "Well, you cannot lay here. This is not a place for you to lay. You need to leave." And so the guy was like, "I'm leaving, I'm leaving." And he got up and he was walking down the road, still on the property. Um, we didn't, I called the law. Didn't know where the guy had gone. Heaven only knows where the man went. But when the sheriff's department got here, they said, well, more than likely he either, the lady or man, whoever it was, came and picked him up or something, but they couldn't locate him. So that kind of gave us a little bit of a scare for a couple of days. And so I enjoy doing this channel. I enjoy showing you all what's going on outside or what I'm doing and what's going on. But I don't want to give up my privacy. I don't want to give up everybody else that lives here, give up their privacy either. And I don't want to live behind a fence and a gate and security and all this stuff. I do have security cameras. Unfortunately, they did not catch the guy. The security cameras that I have on the property did not catch the guy. He was just always he was there, but he just wasn't directly right where the cameras were. So I've added and adjusted those cameras. But that being said, I have to agree with other YouTubers that my safety comes first. And everybody else that lives here, family and friends family that lives here and friends that come, I have to think about their safety and their privacy also. So what is going to happen to this channel, I don't know right now. I'm trying to decide how and what I want to do. But I just know that it's going to have to be where it's not going to give up information. My neighbor now has installed a fence, not only and not really because of that situation as much as he wanted to keep his dog in also. But I'm perfectly fine with that. I can't have a fence. I don't want a fence. I I lived in a bubble for years, and I got out of that bubble, and I'm not going to go back into that bubble again. Um, and it wasn't a bad situation. It's just who I was and who my partner was uh, when we lived up north, and we had to be kind of a little careful. But that being said, I just don't want to have to do that again. So, in time, you might see little clips like you have this past year, Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter, and the table settings, and of course, all of you all enjoyed the snake videos. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but everybody else did, and that's fine. You guys want to see snakes? That's good. I just don't want to see them myself. Um, as far as everything going on here at the house, we did get the big stump right here in the front. We did. I got that up. My neighbor helped, and we did manage to get that up and out into the wood pile. There's not been a lot of change here other than it's been extremely, extremely hot. We're talking 109 to 112 heat index, and when it gets that hot, I know I can't go outside. So I do little things in the house. Um, Angel, my Turkish Angora, she's doing okay. Midnight, the black cat that's outside on the carport, he had become ill a couple of months ago. And so I took him to the vet, and they've diagnosed him with liver cancer. She said, there's really not anything much that they can do without paying thousands and thousands of dollars. And he is almost 16, yeah, almost 16 years old. And so I brought him home, and he's in and out of the house, and he wants to be outside on the carport. And so then when it gets hot, then I bring him inside, and he's inside in the cool until in the evening, and I let him go back out. And right now he's doing okay. He's just losing weight, and he's slow. He's getting slower and slower. But she told me, she said, they would give him a couple of months. But it's been 3 months since they diagnosed him, and he's still with me. But when that time comes, he will be buried out in the yard along with the other cats that we've had. Um, but for right now, he's doing good. Angel's doing good. I'm taking this day by day. I'm doing good too. So that being said, I just wanted to give everybody an update, let you know what's going on, and fill you in. And once I decide, hey, maybe this is what I need to do on YouTube, then you might see me back again. Uh, but again, I have to agree with some of those that are on YouTube that they just had to stop because of their privacy and being invaded. I can't imagine somebody just invading. I always think about people being good people, but I also have to remember there are those out there that aren't good people that are out to do harm or invade your privacy, and that can be a very scary thing. Believe me, I just went through it. I know. Now, did that have anything to do with this? I have no idea. Even the sheriff's department says that it was probably just somebody that had been drinking or that was on drugs that just they saw this and thought it was a park. Um, that it probably had nothing at all to do with this channel or who I am. It's just something that happened. But there again, I don't want to take any chances. So, that being said, I will let you go. I appreciate you watching. I hope everybody has a good day, a good week, a good year. And I will be back. There again, once I decide how I'm going to do this, where it's going to be a little bit less out in the open. All right. Everybody take care. Thank you for watching.